Hello there. In today's video I will be teaching you how to put on a button. There are of course many different buttons. For the purpose of this video I've got only two. One with 4 holes, one with 1. So when you have a button this style, it's got like a rigid all around. It's flat on one side. You have to make sure that you apply the flat surface on the fabric, not the other way around. So that side with that groove, with the rigid all around, that's the right side of the button, I should say. So there are two different techniques, however they're quite similar. Here you will only go through one hole and this one through 4, of course. And then when you got a button that style, you have two options. You can either do like an X, so crisscross, or you can go like vertically or horizontally. And for the purpose of this video, I will be doing that, and I will show you step by step how to do it. And I will use the different colors to illustrate how cool that can actually look. So I will be using the thread with the knot that I showed you in the previous video how to do it. So I've got my thread, and when you have a button and you want to be certain that you are sewing it on in the place that it's supposed to be, you have few options to follow. Or if you're experienced sewer, you don't need most likely any pins or anything. You just know where to put it on and sew it. But for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna use a chalk, or you can use a marking pen if you have one. Anything works. If you don't have the chalk, if you don't have the marking pen, you can always use a soap, dry soap, like a bar soap. Scrape it nicely to create a sharp edge, and that would work. So you can either do the X in a place that's supposed to be sewed on. I don't know if you can see that. The fabric is pretty light. Yeah. So this is the X, and the button would go right in the middle. So you have to put the button right in the middle and then start sewing. So the best way is to sew diagonally first, right? If you don't have the chalk, don't have the bar soap, but you do have pins, and you don't know how to do it just by holding the button and starting to sew, like going from the underneath up, you're welcome to use the pins and then mark the spot. So you can do this, right? So obviously first you would put the garment with the buttonhole on top, and then you mark the X with the pins. So we've got the X, we've got the button, we put it in the middle, right in the middle. I'll grab the needle and I start sewing from the back. See the X? And the button goes right through any hole. Most likely you wouldn't end up poking your thumb, but that's okay. So be very gentle. Start gently. Don't push hard, just gently, because like I said, most likely you will poke yourself, and you don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to bleed. Then pull. And we're gonna go diagonally. You go down. And we're gonna go up again. See, all is good on this side. Yeah, and down. Pull again. It depends how hard you wanted the button, how hard you want to secure the button. If you want to do it lightly, you don't need too many repeats of the thread going through to those holes, you can do it 3-4 times. If you want it, well, 2-3 times. If you want it more secure, you can do 3-4 times. So at the moment, you're good to remove the pins. You could even remove them a little bit sooner, earlier. But like I said, for the purpose of this video, I decided to keep them in. So now, once you're done with that, we're gonna aim for any of those 2 holes. So I'm gonna flip. My needle is here because I see these 2. So I flip the fabric and I'm gonna go to find the other hole. You can poke, and you will feel it where that hole is. I did felt it, but just, you know, want to keep going just to show you. So the hole is right there. Pull, and we're just gonna repeat exactly what we did before. You go down and up and down, and we're in a wrong hole. So before pulling it out, we're gonna reverse, remove it and go a little bit to the left, flip, that's the right hole, this way and down, and now the other one, and now. So now you have a couple options. So we're gonna go back down. How are we gonna secure it? So we can secure it over here. I'm gonna show you how to do that. So like this, and now we're gonna go through the loop. And I believe this calls the buttonhole loop, right? Stitch. So we're gonna secure, and again, make sure you get the eye over the needle, and again, and again. Let's try to get that knot inside the eye so it won't be so big and bulky sticking out. And let's do it one more time. And that should be good. Now, you can easily cut that thread off. What I would do, just like let's go back through the fabric, pull it out. And this button is well secured. It's not gonna go anywhere anytime soon. See how strong it is? But what I'm gonna do, if it's for a coat, you know, coat, we use those buttons most of the time, few times a day. For that reason, we have to make sure that it's secured extremely well, I would say. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to the right side of the fabric, but I'm not gonna go through the hole. I'm gonna go between the fabric and between the button, and I'm gonna pull that needle out. Now I'm gonna go round and round, round and round the button, the fabric, pulling gently to create that extra layer of security, I call it. Now I'm gonna finish exactly the same way as I did before with the back pull, and go through the loop and pull, and one more time. But this time what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to the other side of the fabric. That's it. Now it's safe to cut, and your button is good to go. It's not gonna go anywhere. Perfect. See how well it's done? Beautiful. So if you decide you wanna go a little bit more bold, more, add some art to your button, well, not your button, but more like the way it's being sewed on, you can do anything, honestly. So for this purpose, for this putting on that button, I'm actually double the threads. So double on one side, double on the other. That would make 4. So let me make the knot. So roll, roll, roll. And you did notice I rolled only once. And the reason why, it's because it's such a thick thread at the moment that if I ended up rolling it 2-3 times, the knot would get extremely big. So here it is, and I'm gonna go horizontally. So I'll go from the back. So 1 and 2, one side, second side, back the other hole, up, let's see, and then down. And because, like I said, I've got 4 each time I go through, I'm pretty much done with that one. See how cool it looks? And I'm gonna move on to the next one, next hole. So here, and down. Sorry, I'm getting too close to the camera at the moment. And up and down. Look. Okay, we're not gonna go round and round, so what we're gonna do is just secure it so it's not gonna go anywhere. Cut it off. And now I'm gonna use the other vertical, use different colored thread to do the vertical lines. So you have 2 options so far. I know it's one button, but just to illustrate, I'm doing it doing the 3 different version of sewing on the button by hand on by using 3 different colors to illustrate how it can be done. So far we've got the X and then the horizontal line, and then we're gonna do horizontal, then we're gonna do the vertical lines, right? So X, horizontal, and let me do the vertical now. Got my needle and the thread, doubling it again for a quicker So I got one thread in, the other one is out, so that's not gonna work. I'm gonna go on from the other side. Got the loop, and let's see. Got it. Okay, I'm afraid I got the thread quite too short. That might work. So what I like to do when I do the knot, I should have mentioned that before, I like to moisten my index finger, and again I will do only one roll, and then I will roll, see that back, the tail of that thread forward, and then everything else will slip off and then pull. I find it when I roll it too many times, when I go around my index finger too many times, I end up with a big knot, and this is just perfect. That's what I like. See, it's not bulky, it will not look messy, and it will do the job that it required to do. So got my thread, got my knot, got my button, and let's do vertical lines. So we're gonna go from the back. Let's see, we're here. Up and down, let's pull. Can You see that? And now we're gonna go up again. And down. And let's do the other side. So we're gonna point, see, that's the other hole. And up. Let's just double check. Like once in a while you have to double check you're not stuck with any loops on the other side. We've got that, and then we go down again. Beautiful. Look at that. How cool is that? It's like an art, piece of art. So there are 3 ways: vertical, horizontal, and then the X. Then let me secure that so it's not gonna go anywhere. 1, 2, and 3, and we're done. Got the excess thread off. Beautiful. Look at that. Darn, that looks good. If you like that, make sure to come back for my other videos. I will teach you as many tips, as many tricks as I can. Bye bye now.